episode 4 of the Mainly Wrestling Show. I'm a very shiny Jack Milner. He's a very bearded Jack Milner, and the very delightful Lissy Almeida. It's Lissy.
Hey, Jack Milners.
I can't believe you just called me Jack Milner.
Yeah, you wish. John Jacobs, Double J. That's JWF. Anyway, we're going to look at the Raw episode from May the 31st, 1999. It's a long day. JJ will tell you. If you've got kids and they're ill, it's a really long day. May the 31st, 1999. Lissy, give us a brief synopsis of this era because it's wild.
Well, the thumbnail for this episode is The Undertaker, which is like the weirdest version of The Undertaker. With like with like the eyebrow ring. It was the weird time, as I like to say. However, people were getting crucifixed, people were getting hung. Also, what are you? What? I mean, also honorable mention, and I just can't believe that like the way that wrestling is, you just keep going on. Like Owen Hart had just died like 10 days prior to this particular episode. So I think, it was a somber time in wrestling overall, so we can't overlook that.
8 days, Lizzie, 8 days. At the time of recording, 24th of May, 2022, today is the 23rd anniversary of the Raw is Owen episode, which was literally 24 hours after he fell to his death. Thanks to Vince McMahon and the WWE. That's a sidebar. We'll get into that in another time. Lissy's far too sober to talk about that right now. However, yeah, this is a really, really bizarre time. JJ, you were borderline fan, right? Not really there yet?
Yeah, I wasn't there yet, I think, because I don't remember Owen Hart when I started watching wrestling, right? Like it was the thing I only learned about him afterwards. So this is like a week after, then I probably wasn't quite there yet. Maybe like the sort of age I was catching glimpses of Friday nights on Sky Sports 3 when it was on at my cousin's house, but that would have been about it.
But one of the topic is, like I said, it's the 23rd. What retrospectively, what have you gone and watched of Owen? What do you know of Owen Hart, JJ, as a wrestling fan?
So like I went back and watched like a lot of the Raws from around that time. Most of the stuff when enough was enough and it was time for a change, and then some of the stuff between him and Brett, a lot of those matches and a lot of that feud. Yeah.
I mean, Brett was the best. I mean, he did kind of help Owen a lot, but we won't have any masturbatory Bret Hart moments, right? We'll leave that for...
Yes, we will. Every chance we get.
We'll leave that for AEW Dynamite. Shout out to Dax Howard. Best guy in the business right now, anyway. Anyway, we are on the May 31st, 1999 episode of Raw. Sorry, Dominic, like no more Superstars from 93. I don't have time for this nonsense, There's only so much gin I can drink in a 2-hour time frame before a child wakes up. If you're watching it on the network, like us wonderful people, it's www.com/raw-6040. If you are on the cock like these unfortunate people, you go to...
Us poor unfortunate souls are on Monday Night Raw, Season 7, Episode 22, May 31st.
As always, before we start, Lissy, let's see the shirt.
Oh, I think I've worn this shirt before. I'm so sad that I'm re-wearing it. But I have another one. So in like the post-WrestleMania, actually no, it's not even post-WrestleMania, like the live shows, you get like a shirt that says that city in 316. So I do have one from Backlash a few weeks ago that says Worcester 316, and I'll wear that when I get time.
And that is why the WWE is earning $250 million a quarter. Sorry, TK. Right, we're going to click play in 3, 2, 1.
Absolutely legendary intro music.
This is the
if
best
you have got epilepsy,
opening.
you are in severe trouble right now. Anyway, by the way, shout out to, I think they call him Brian Danielson, who was 41, I think yesterday or maybe over the weekend, but still the greatest wrestler in the game.
How is he 41? That's madness.
It is so weird seeing that they are actually showing clips from Over the Edge 1999 in the recap.
Yes.
Even as a fan, I have no memory of the event at all.
You can't. The one thing happened that night. One thing. It's so hard to, nothing will overshadow that ever.
but even as a fan, right? Around this era, I had the old VHSs. I had Royal Rumble, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which was, I want to say it's like from St. Louis. Big Show debut through the cage. And then you had Backlash, which was, I think, Mankind, a Big Show, and a Brawler and Brawl. And then this was the next one. And it was like weird. And I said, if you look at that, how they've like split that up or almost like portrayed it, it was just business as normal, carried on. The first time I saw the Dark Side of the Ring with Owen, I absolutely sobbed my eyes out. Like that, it was again during lockdown. I'd not cried like that in years. Hard watch.
That was a very hard watch. I had to pause it and like come back. It was a tough episode to watch.
It was always coming on then going, Dad, it would have been pretty cool if you'd have been still around. Like, oh.
Well, I think it was good though, because I think like a lot of fans obviously like they knew he died, but they didn't know the findings of the investigation, the inner workings and all that other stuff. So I think it was really like good for, his widow, to Dr. Martha Hart to come on and just explain, because you didn't think it was, you knew there was some negligence, but you didn't realize how really, just how bad it was until you actually saw, like, what was it, like a sailboat hook?
It was like some rusty like hook that was left for him to dive down on, Oh my God. Sorry to interrupt, but I forgot about Druids.
The Druids, oh my God, they were like a staple during this time.
Right, so again, I'm watching this as a 12-year-old British kid. I don't know what a Druid is. Oh, wow, China
You're
is.
British?
Hey, shout out to Crossrail, the Elizabeth line, launched in the week.
Yes, the Elizabeth line.
I think this weekend, is it JJ, next weekend, we get a 4-day weekend, thanks to Her Majesty's Platinum.
Yeah, buddy.
Jubilee 4-day weekend.
And then you're a big royalist, JJ. Don't give me that. You're just playing it to the camera now. Look at you, living the gimmick.
She's good for one thing, and that's bank holiday.
JJ is such a good worker, pretending he hates the monarchy.
John Jacobs, loves
those bank holidays.
I think it was really nice, Jack. I'm not sure if you've seen, but yesterday at the Chelsea Flower Show, Her Majesty does not miss that event.
Right.
I thought it was so nice. She had
her own buggy, Lissy.
That was so cute, because she's obviously having some mobility issues. For them to be able to bring her out on that and like her still be able to participate was wonderful.
She's a tough cookie.
She is.
She will be at the derby.
Are you sighing, sir?
I don't know why she keeps coming up. This is a fucking wrestling show.
Because we love her.
We have a queen on the show, JJ. It's kind of implicit now.
She's right there. I love her.
Would you rather talk about Druids and Shane McMahon's sweaty forehead? And that's coming from me. Shane McMahon.
I think we should point out that China looks in fantastic shape.
I know, right? That's the first thing I said is that she looks stacked.
This is peak China. Can we just talk about the number of people in this group? The corporate ministry, corporation, whatever the hell they were at this time, because the name changed every week.
Absurd.
It's just the idea of telling Farouk, Ron Simmons, right? Again, if you go back and look at Ron Simmons, they retired his jersey at Florida State, one of the best college footballers of all time. First black African-American world heavyweight champion in 1992. The dressing room was a gladiator, a shit gladiator at that. And then 2-3 years later, you've got symbols on your pecs, and you're in a tag team with Justine Hall-Bradshaw. And yet, how they made that work is unreal.
They did it.
The WWE have a habit of taking two really, really, really talented people, shoving them into a tag team, and then making them feel completely worthless.
Okay, this is one of the examples though where it worked, because like think about it. JBL wasn't JBL yet at this time. The better days of his career, he had 2 careers in the WWE. He had 2 really solid runs, one as a tag team, one as him.
So did the Big Boss Man.
Oh, don't get me started. I love the Boss Man. He can do no wrong in my eyes. But like this was supposed to be like a joke, and then it took off, and then they had like the APA protection and all that stuff. Like,
I love that stuff. The fact that they had that door and just to cut out.
Yes.
Just respect. Walk through the door. Knock.
Yes. But also, I love that, like, eventually, like, Jacqueline joined them because, like, she was, like, such a badass, too. And it's great. Approve.
So, I mean, the best, well, I don't know if they're the best now, but, the best tag team in recent memory, the New Day, they were basically shoved together, just three random people just put together as a joke, and they made it work. But
I was asking you, because I obviously weren't watching at that time. Why were they put together? Because Consequences Creed had quite a run in TNA, right? He was the X-Division champion a few times, and
but that doesn't translate.
Kofi got buried by Triple H, right? Hey, what happened to your Jamaican accent?
Yeah, but that doesn't translate over.
Kofi.
They weren't doing anything with Xavier Woods.
Yeah, he's so good as well. Big E. I mean, Kofi had been in the WWE a long time, never really achieved very much. Obviously, he's had the better part of his career now. Big E is unreal. Like, should have had a better singles run than he has had in the last few years. And Xavier is a real talent as well. But I think they just saw three African American wrestlers and went, "Hey, you guys, why don't you just do a gospel gimmick?"
You really worry, right? That I'm thinking, why is Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland being put together?
They have some history on the indies.
They are, right, okay. I saw some like very accusatory tweets.
Accusatory.
Aligning with oh God, my mind. It's been a very long day. The girl that was basically throwing shade at TK after she had her contract expired.
Big Swole.
Big Swole, yeah.
Big Swole.
That was kind of reiterating those claims. By the way, Triple H knows where the hard camera is. Every shot in the background doing the. I can't wait to marry the boss's daughter and be the top guy.
You stop.
Well, you stop. Vince being the good guy, right? I was on WWF.com in the school library any chance I could get at this time.
It wasn't blocked.
It wasn't blocked, but it would take forever. So the pictures would load like this.
Oh my God, it was so slow.
I remember my old teacher, Mr. Millington, big wrestling fan as well. He's one going, just signed Jericho. Big news this. I don't watch WCW. Oh, this Jericho fella. Honestly. Jacob, this guy's good. Oh.
If you were a kid, you were never watching WCW. It was not, the content was not for us.
I mean, if we go back and look at WCW from 99, 2000, I don't know who it was for, really.
I don't know why, JJ. You're right. No, this was definitely not for kids either, but.
My dad hated me watching wrestling, right? So it was always the worst when he would come in and there was, a half-naked woman on camera. That was always the time where I was like, if he's going to walk in, I hope it's not now if there's, one of the divas.
And that's when they were having like a bra and panties match, or they were having like a mud wrestling match, or a bikini contest, or just anything stupid. And then your parents will walk in, they're like, "What are you watching?"
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Quick, switch it over to Television X's 10-minute preview. Very few people get the reference. I'm not really sure.
Do you remember watching the match at King of the Ring?
Which one?
The next pay-per-view here would be June 99, King of the Ring. The Rock v. The Undertaker for the world title.
Okay.
And Shane and Vince McMahon v. Stone Cold in a ladder match to become owner of the company. I know, JJ. I know. And as Stone Cold would be reaching to get the briefcase, somebody just lowered it, raised it even higher, and it was never ever revealed. Why? Because Vince Russo was booking this shit week to week, and he couldn't find an answer.
Yeah.
Hence why the original. So we missed Undertaker in the first promo, and he answers to a higher power. It's going to be revealed. Yeah. It was going to be Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels at the time was playing a fallen angel character where he dressed like a vicar, and he's got the tattoo on his neck, and he had Alice in Danger as the whatever. And then Vince saw him and went, Well, he's 5'10". Fuck off.
Unreal.
I'm sorry, pal. You're not going to answer to someone who's 5'10".
But he was the greater power in the end.
It was Vince.
Oh, perfect.
Have you not seen this?
It was me, Austin.
We
It was
revealed
me all
someone.
along.
That's
Okay,
me,
yeah. I've seen it. Okay.
And if you watch
I didn't
this,
link
so
the two together.
the last 3 or 4 weeks has been Undertaker and Vince at it, and the
Yeah.
Undertaker's abducted Stephanie, and like when it's revealed as Vince, like what? That makes no sense.
I do remember Undertaker abducting Stephanie, and then didn't
Word
Austin
to
come out to make the save?
Sorry, JJ.
Didn't Austin come out and make the save?
Yeah, it's one of those great memes because Steph is then hugging Austin, and Austin's like, "See my hands
And
up."
it's just,
Not to
just around the time when Linda and Stephanie came out and made Stone Cold like the commissioner or something along the lines of the commissioner.
That was after this.
Okay.
So in their eyes, like Shane and Vince beat Stone Cold at King of the Ring in the, as I was saying, the match that run the company, where the briefcase gets raised, they're revealed. And then Steph and Linda come out saying, well, actually, we both own a quarter share each, and we're making him the new CEO. And you get these brilliant vignettes of Stone Cold in charge of the company at Titan Towers.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on at this time.
This is literally like the best and worst time in wrestling. It's the
Yeah.
best for like the edgy stuff. And then when you're talking about like storyline, you're just like,
Wrestling's wank.
where the hell is it going?
It was basically Jerry Springer type TV.
Oh yeah.
Thing is, you can never know where anything's going because even the man with the pencil didn't know where it was going. So, like past 7 days in the future.
I love that Vince always points like this. Skin.
He always does the bird, like, I can't do it with like the thing, the thumb hooked around, like. It's an American thing, right? Because I suppose back home we just go. Whereas what the double bird, I can't. God, my fingers can't really what they're.
Wait. Sorry. What just happened?
I love that they throw things around like Austin will never get a chance, another chance.
JJ, you've got very similar facial hair. If you shave that tash off.
I can't do the eyes though.
But what is Triple H wearing? Lissy, you're the fashion correspondent here. What the fuck is Hunter wearing?
Don't.
This is very like Ross in Friends wearing leather pants.
Yeah, I mean, his shirt has a zipper. It's unzipped.
There is no way he's able to zip that to the top.
No.
He has wore that purposefully to show the tiniest tits in the game.
I mean, it's probably like that.
Oh my God, it's Austin.
I mean, those pants are.
He's one of the druids. I can't believe it.
It's Austin.
Cowboy 469 in the background, tremendous.
I think the numbers game's going to catch up to him,
Honestly, there's just too many people. Like, how many? 2, 4, 6. There's like 8.
Do you remember the Union?
The Union.
There's one guy in the ministry who I don't recognize.
Midian.
Is that who it is? With the
Mike
green?
not Mike. Dennis Knight. He was one half of the Godwins.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was Phineas Godwin.
But he wasn't a great worker, but he was in the BSK. So he was tight with Taker. We'll get you a job, brother.
Played dominoes with him. I got it.
There's Sarge, Tony Gurria. Right, so can we apply some logic to this, Brennan?
No, don't try.
Stone
Just don't even
Cold
do it.
has managed to hear that the Undertaker's got some druids hanging around. He's going to beat one up, stole their attire, stayed there until. Why is his music playing? Who's played his music to come out? And then he's attacked the Undertaker. Yeah. Anyway, that's Raw in 1999. Look at that. The shadow show. Oh, there he
We
was
can
all
end
along.
here.
Who gave the sign to the back to say, play my music. Boom.
The big guy, by the way, on the left in the WF Attitude thing, he was the head of security for about 10 years. He died in like, I want to say early 2002. Can't remember his name, but he was the guy that if anything kicked off at live events, he would beat the shit out of anyone who got near. But yeah, the union around this time, these are like people who'd been wronged by the ministry or the corporation, basically losers. Here they are.
I mean, to be fair, he might not really have had to beat up a druid, right? He could probably just have
get your ass down.
grabbed a nice cloak from somewhere and thrown it on. I feel like that could be more likely.
Oh, he doesn't need your help.
Did you say, by the way, pervert?
Accurate.
What is happening?
The comments.
Don't wait the child.
The comments are kicking off under that Jerry the King Lawler Instagram post that you put up on the Mainly Wrestling feed, no?
Not just that one. It was a lit week.
Oh, well, okay.
Comments.
They're also kicking off on the CM Punk.
Shout out to
one,
M.
but
Cedric
I don't
for
want to
stuff.
talk about
Okay.
that because whatever.
Like some young.
Not
I think the
pervert.
post
He's a pervert.
speaks for itself on our views on that.
Pervert.
That's fine. Did they take it away from him? They had to.
It got all
He
the
had his
airtime
own
it needed,
talk
to be
show
fair.
last night on Raw. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
He's not relevant.
Wasn't
surely.
even there.
I mean,
It's fucking Owen. Not even my car.
oh,
That is such a niche reference. Like the small crossover. Not even my car.
not because anyone that watches or listens to What Culture podcast, Wrestle Culture podcast, will have at least heard that, even if they don't know what it is.
Look at that. The Big Show flying over the ropes, man. He was. Did you see him come out and say, like, I learned how to do a moonsault in the power plant and nobody would ever let me do it?
Hmm.
He should have done at least one, right?
He was so, I mean, he was still not even 30. Who was he, 25 here?
This is
He
the
was
OG Billy Gunn trunks, by the way.
Super agile.
Great trunks.
These were the ones used in his action figure because I had it.
Of course.
Some guy.
First
And
of
that-
all,
Do you have the
Look at
old
that. That is the.
Titantron
That is
would,
the. I
like,
haven't
make
yet. I'm
noises?
too lazy to dry my hair. Hairstyle.
but can we just talk about like us being like 10-year-old kids at this time? No, I was 10-year-old kids, and you're like, this guy's named Mr. Ass. Like, we didn't even know what that meant. Like, we just thought it was cool.
He was an ass man. That's all I know.
I was just listening to the What Culture 5-star review from this week, JJ,
Mhm.
and they go back and look at Val Venus's original vignette.
Oh my God.
And you know what? How can you not know he's a porn star? Like, I'm 11 years old watching it. Oh, wow. I didn't know what a porn star was.
I didn't know.
I didn't know any of the innuendos or the references, but, you know, my dad comes in and watches it. He's sniggering away like, oh, this must be cool. This must be funny.
Yeah, I had no
And then
idea.
you go back and watch it as an adult and go, wow, this was fucking filthy.
To be fair, it's the same with anything. Like, you go back and watch an episode of Rugrats, you're like, oh my God, I never even clocked that interesting thing that they threw in there as a joke for an adult, but just found it funny that Tommy was trying to escape from his playpen.
Well, I think they do that a lot with like SpongeBob, especially. Like, I mean, when you see like all the memes and stuff, but you're just like, Jesus Christ, like how is this okay?
Yeah, or just like random Disney movies that you've not seen in 20 years, you know, and you're like, oh my God, they said that.
Shout out to Jimmy Corderas, by the way. Great referee.
Jimmy.
I love the fact that when these actually, Jerry would always reference the referees and give them their deserved props.
Yeah, but the referees, especially during this time and like in the 2000s, like the referees had personality. Like they were part of the show.
They
You know,
were
you
over.
knew. Yeah, like you knew if like Earl Hebner was refereeing, like it was a big match. It was a big deal, you know. And you also knew, like, okay, like this ref doesn't play, or this ref is, you know, a little more lenient.
Timmy
You know,
White
we
would
love-
always
we
be
love Mike
dancing with
Chioda.
the Chicas or Jack Dunn would end up having a roll around if it was in like a Divas match. Teddy Long was a bit more sterner.
Yeah. Earl Hebner would push you back.
Earl Hebner loved the old.
Well, he got that from, again, the greatest referee of all time, Tommy Young, because him and Flair were good fellas. So Flair would say, "Push me, what? Push me, bang," and Flair would like do a bit stupid bump.
Yeah.
By the way, while we're here, Lissy.
Yes, sir.
We'll flip that up. Ric Flair, one more match. Thoughts? I feel like we need the GIF right going, why?
I'm just so concerned for him. Like, I think he would be okay if he died in the ring, but like, no one wants to see that happen. And it's just so concerning because, okay, like if they put him in like a tag match or something where, you know, somebody, we've seen it where like they pair up like, you know, an older guy with, you know, a younger guy that's going to carry the match or whatever. But it sounds like this is going to be like a one-on-one, which is a bit scary. That's number one. Number two, if it's against Hulk Hogan, I'm sorry, no one wants to see that. We didn't want to see it in TNA. We don't want to see it in 2022.
Hell of a choke slam.
That's all.
They played his music. He didn't even need to pin him. Just hit the choke
The
slam.
music's all over the place tonight.
What's with Road Dogg and Billy Gunn not being pals?
They have beef.
So they split up around, if you go back to WrestleMania 15, Road Dogg is in like a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental title with like the Godfather and Goldust and, you know, it's probably made like a Hardcore Holly. And Billy Gunn was actually fighting for the Hardcore title. So they split them up around this time because Beaver cleavage. Right, let me track this because this is unbelievably preposterous. This is their third vignette at this stage. Third.
I'll be right there with you.
They're next.
This is nasty.
2 S's.
You like when I do that? I'm like, it's
You need to go full on Jeff Jarrett. Start spelling your name.
Lissy.
J-double-F, J-double-I-double-T, double-A Jeff Jarrett.
No, like if my last name had like any double letters, it would actually go really well because it's like Lissy and like maybe I should change my name.
Speak of the devil.
Change your name.
I tell you what.
Kayfabe's not dead, JJ.
So we've gone from one large-breasted MILF-like woman to
like this guy. Oh, sorry.
Okay, can we just pause? Because I know I say this every time Deborah's on, but you guys know, like, Deborah? Are you kidding me?
Oh, hey, look, I like, look, if I'm going to say a 20-year-old girl, I take a 40-year-old every day of the week.
Okay, Deborah was 39 years old here. Like,
and all the way alive.
All the way.
You see people dressed like Deborah all the time, don't you, JJ, in the corporate world?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be, I gave puppies a bath. This is, again, Sidgwick is he needs titties. He needs a titty bath. So Jeff Jarrett with his manager, Deborah, wearing a very revealing business suit, is going to face the Godfather. But he must have the hose. Where them hose at? Come on, Godfather.
Come on.
We want to see the women. Bring the women out.
So Deborah now is in her 60s, right?
Yeah, Deborah's like my mom's age.
Okay.
Just saying. Marion looks great, but Marion wasn't dressing like Deborah in 1999.
Lissy, do you have any attires such as this? Are you gonna give you the fashion critic on the show?
What, for the hose?
The hose.
I mean, this is very accurate hoe fashion.
I mean,
royal correspondent listener was very accurate. I mean, to give them credit for their portrayal of the hoe.
The second girl, I mean, you can go to any strip club and see someone wearing that out.
Those white boots, white boots really are something, aren't they?
I just checked out Deborah's Twitter. Even in her 60s, she looks
great. I love her.
I never understood the Godfather dancing style with the aforementioned ladies.
there's some type of grinding happening, but
That's
we
what
all
I mean.
know.
It's not a full commitment to the
Right.
grinding
We all
action per
know
se.
who the queen of the grind was around this time.
I'm not going to do it anymore because I think I did it before and got laughed at. This is for all the men who came to see me.
I'm not going to do it, he says right before he then proceeds
Didn't do the grind.
to do it.
Said the word.
He
Didn't do the grind.
He lives to do. Look at Jack lives to do two, maybe a few other things, but the two things that he particularly enjoys.
Took
number
my son
one,
to bed at night. No.
no. Number one, Hunter's voice. That's number one. Number two is Sable with the grind intro.
It's true.
I think
Number
Jack
three,
has got a good
Shawn
impression.
Michaels. In that order.
In that order.
Hey, Shawn.
There it is.
I saw. Did you see the video going around of Triple H burying Punk in like 2013, saying, "Yeah, Punk, you want this change? You just want it for yourself." And someone was going back saying, "Wait a minute, didn't you have him like? But look at the guy checking Deborah out in the front row." Right, I'm gonna have to go back and. There's a dude next to the guy in the Austin 316 shirt. Oh no, he's gone. He was like doing the. Damn. The WWF in 98, 99 just stank of jizz. Biggest pop so far has been The Godfather getting the hose down.
Listen, the hoes were over.
And yet they got different hose in every city. Like a young
No.
John Jacobs in his prime.
No, the song says I got hoes in different area codes.
I know Ja Rule is.
That's not Ja Rule.
Is it not?
What is wrong with
No,
you?
I know this is
First of all, it's Nate Dogg who sings that part.
I get Ludicrous.
I'm worried about you. He said
What?
Ja Rule.
I'm right though. Ludicrous.
Yeah, but like the fact that you said Ja Rule.
I know
first is
two
weird.
rappers, right? That's a start. I think if you look on my Spotify, it's very little of the genre. I'm more of a
We're
Rod
lucky
Stewart,
we've got
I'm
you
more of
here,
a Rod
Lissy,
Stewart kind
because-
of guy.
Jack and I are so very white.
I check two boxes. I check the brown box and the female box. So I mean, what can I do?
JJ
personally
and
never
I
checked the
are white,
female
middle class, very stereotypes.
What are you talking about? JJ is very outside of that. What are you talking about?
Am I?
He likes jungle gyms and football and beer. I mean,
JJ's a hybrid.
he's many things.
You can operate in many worlds. And Jack just says, I don't know, guys. I'm just a 30-something-year-old white guy.
34-year-old guy who's looking forward to. I'm going to Lords in August to spend 2 days at the cricket in London, and I can't put the words how excited I am.
I can't believe you've chosen that over the playoff final for Huddersfield.
Walter Fears and chosen. I'll text you later. Yeah, you've chosen that. Yeah. Do we ever really choose anything, JJ, in these situations? You take what scraps you're given.
I think it's, yeah, I just said once in a lifetime opportunity.
Look at you, JJ, put his
I'm-
foot down going, "Woman, I'm off to the football."
No, I pleaded my case
You begged.
successfully.
I got a good man.
You know what? Good for you. I think you guys are literally like the model for how. I'm sorry, we just pause for a second because Deborah is doing her thing.
Oh, you want to be a hoe, do you? Ain't like those titties.
He said, the fact that the Godfather's wrestling with the vest on, he still hasn't even taken it off. There's a lot going on. Oh, everyone's getting naked. Okay.
Kevin Dunn would always go for like the little half underskirt shot as well.
Just enough.
Oh, wait, the host is like, wait, what about me? Oh, so she's taking the
Yeah.
top off as well.
Can't forget me. Waffle him. Let's go. Okay.
Like-
So anyway, JJ, I think you and Nicole have a great system, and I love that you get to do the things that you like to do. She gets to do things she likes to do, and it's a give and take and balance. I think that's wonderful.
We got a new
Cheers
champion.
to you.
Thanks.
Wow.
I just want to point out that the last 2 matches have ended because the referee's been distracted by tits.
Yo, not distracted by tits. Okay, so
Beat the
see, I need
cleavage,
to like
3
learn to get
hose.
off the apron in heels the way Deborah does.
Can I just say we are at 39 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. We've had China, well, very little, looking phenomenal. We have had Deborah, we've had Beaver Cleavage, 3 hose. Like, very little in terms of wrestling. And
What
yet
wrestling?
the guys were so over that they could do anything.
Whatever they wanted. As Peter Almeida says, they can do what they wanted.
I just want to hear Barry Windham one more time. Can we
Betty,
get him on for a cameo one time?
who, my dad?
Yeah.
Oh my God, if you got him started.
Battle of the
he'd be like-
Belts, Ric Flair versus Barry Windham.
He'd be
The
like,
debut of the
you know-
Big Gold Belt, 2/14/86.
He'd be like, when I come to this country, I was watching wrestling at that time. And
Not
it
this
was
bullshit now.
no, because he's like always he just starts banging on about how he's like the real champion was Bruno Sammartino.
Shut
And
up, Bruno.
just go, just let it happen. He loves Bruno. He's like, Brett, he was a real champion. He know how to wrestle. His father was a wrestler. I'm like, okay, Dad, let's just.
Where did it go wrong with you?
First of all, I love Brett. What are
Brett,
you
the
talking
real
about?
champion.
No, I love Brett, but like I love Sean. I'm tired of people trying to make me choose. I won't do it.
You've chosen, aren't you? You were in the clique. You had the shirt. You had the hat. You had mirrors on your clothing. How old's that monitor? Jesus.
I had that TV in my bedroom when I was 12.
A pair of chaps.
Connected it to my Sega Mega Drive. Good time.
Yo, listen, if you had the TV with the VCR underneath,
You were
you were
living.
lit.
You were living, yeah.
First of all, it was 19 inches. Like the TV was like this big.
Wait a minute. I missed this in the opening segment. We've got Vince versus The Undertaker.
Yep. Mr. McMahon must defeat The Undertaker before Austin can get another chance at the gold.
So, and again, given this in storyline, a week later, Vince is announced as the higher power.
Mm-hmm.
Long-term storytelling. They knew what they were doing.
Of course they did.
It was
Still part of the plan.
The
Oh, wow,
slide.
Vince is going to have a running start. That went
Listen, Vince,
Foolish.
let me tell you something. It's funny because like not even 2 years before, Vince was just the announcer. He's sitting ringside. Remember the first time that we saw Vince in his wrestling getup, always the black jeans with the tank top? Like we were shocked at his physique. We're like, who the hell is this guy?
well. April 14th, 98. Austin
dude was
McMahon.
ripped.
I can't wait to go on Mastermind one day with all this useless knowledge and embarrass my entire family by outing myself as a wrestling fan. Jack Milner, specialist subject, Monday Night Raw, 1998, 1999.
Thank you.
Modern history, a bit of, Reading Monarchs or, even English cricket from the 2000s. No, he's choosing 90s wrestling. And that's my boy. Said no one ever.
This is fine. This is a judgment-free zone. We're safe here.
There's a few Owen signs in the crowd. I can't believe they haven't been confiscated. There truly was a different. Is that a Confederate flag on a sign?
Where?
There.
Yeah.
Wow.
First of all, I'm not shocked. Let's just start there. Let's just begin and end there. I'm not shocked. Because it is 2022 and people are still upset about not being able to fly it outside of their state house and stuff like that.
This is in Moline, Illinois. Not even
First
like
of all, that's not even the South.
Wait, Mark of the Quad, Moline, Illinois. That's not even the South. That's the Midwest, right? That's
The Midwest,
Detroit.
yes. I've just told you.
But I'm saying, but why do they have those flags in?
Because those ideologies run deeper than
Because they're fucking racist, Jack. They're racist.
Mike Chioda is not having a good time in this match. Just getting thrown around by Taker.
Chioda.
Oh, Mike saw that like a champ as well. Some guy in an Austin shirt. Oh, he's got the DQ. Wow.
Uh-oh.
So it's Austin win. I'm confused. Vince wins a match.
Surely, yeah.
Paul Bearer. Tremendous
Jumped
hair
out of
dye.
his skin. Amazing.
There's someone with the Sailor was hair sign as well. I miss the old signs.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. The signs were a great time. I feel like that was one of the better parts of going to wrestling. Even if you were sitting, like we didn't ever sit like anywhere super close. But like, you know, just being able to make your sign and be like, oh, I hope this gets on TV today. Cause I mean, again, and you're never going to see it anyway, because there was no replays back then, but what a time. Mr. McMahon.
Look at the guys chanting the bald guy in the second row going bananas in a Stone Cold shirt.
Oh, sorry.
Are you tired, darlings? Is it past
You know
midnight there?
It's actually 6 p.m. here. I am a little tired, you know.
Oh man, the cool aunt is there struggling at 6 o'clock.
No, I'm
Not
really
like us at
just
12
not.
o'clock with kids.
I'm not even the cool aunt anymore. Like I'm going to bed at 10. Like this is it,
I'm
guys.
a big fan of this.
I'm gonna call you the hot single aunt. We can't say that anymore. Come with this.
Do we do this every time that Lissy has a date? This is like my dad, right? Anytime that I would like mention a female's name, he would be like, when you get married.
He made the story.
Get over it.
That's a sign that, Liz.
Let her live her life, man.
No.
There's nothing wrong with it.
They put the Confederate flag on the screen. They didn't even care.
JJ, I have got no social life. I've got no any life. I have to try and pick some crumbs of fun around.
I know. It's fine. I don't mind it.
Oh, wow. He's going, I was going to say goes in stiff with the pipe, but you know, Hunter always goes in stiff with the
Will
pipe.
you stop?
Stephanie's got 3 months off now.
I love the chaotic nature of these backstage areas like back in the day. Nowadays, it feels so like sanitized, but there it was just like the shutters half down, there's a Pepsi vending machine in the background, there's a ladder there, there's a lead pipe lying around.
No big
Feels a
deal.
lot more.
By the way, a news today that Mick Foley is launching a podcast with Conrad Thompson. Foley is pod that starts in 2 weeks' time. Will you be listening, John Jacobs?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. I love Foley. Great speaker. Big fan of his takes on wrestling.
It's another one that you thought that, again, if WWE had any sense, they'd keep that type of thing in-house. Like Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett, both been producers over the last 2 years, and Foley, and they've now all got podcasts elsewhere.
To be honest, I don't listen to a whole lot of podcasts. I should probably cut down a little bit because
But they give Corey Graves his own podcast instead.
Yeah. But this one I will make some time for. I'll definitely give it a listen.
You know, the Jeff Jarrett one, I was
podcasts out
really
there,
skeptical at first because I didn't really like him in the 90s or 2000. It's really good. Really, really good. And again, especially with a lot of the, you'd say, business decisions behind TNA in the 2000s, which is another wild era.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? When I look back at like videos or whatever from this time of Mick Foley, he's actually like a good-looking guy, and like you just think he looks like this all the time. Remember, he used to like rip his hair out. I know, Jack. I know you used to like all like the weird shit that he did.
What? What?
No, because you said that you used to do the.
Yeah.
But like it's just, I mean, I just feel like his character was just like such a genius, and like he was just able to evolve it so much. And I mean, he was in a Royal Rumble as 3 different people one time. Like he's just, you don't think about him when people are like, oh, who's on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling or whatever. It's like, but he was there putting these guys over when you really think about it, especially like Triple H and them and Undertaker.
He was Taker's first big feud in a long time, in 96. He was big feud with Triple H, get him over in 97. He was Stone Cold's first feud after he became champion in 98. The Rock's third feud when he became champion in 99. Then obviously Triple H in 2000. He got everyone up. And yeah, even recently, Randy Orton in 2004, Edge 2006.
Yeah.
And because he was so good, lost nothing in defeat.
Yeah.
Was it Dax Howard who said it the other week? Going, I went to failure, but I didn't fail.
It was.
Oh wow, things even happen. This is like Fight TV, picture in picture.
Whoa.
Well, you get a rare 3 minutes of Jim Ross actually crapping on everything before he gets told by Excalibur, we're back live, Jim. All right, so.
Let's go.
Thank you very much, Man in the Masks. Been a pleasure. Thank you and good night. I want a podcast with Regal. That's what I want. I want a William Regal. Give me what I want. Because the Jericho, he's 2 things on the Jericho one were brilliant.
Can we just pause though? Like, I think it was last week's episode of Dynamite or whatever, when he's like, I've already taken your toothbrush, and
that was one.
I was like, what is happening? There was just.
This is a week after that really good 3.5-minute video with a Regal narrating, like showing them there in their training room and stuff, going, we're going to take you to the depth that you never even knew you had inside you. And then, yes, I took my toothbrush up your bottom and now it'll be in your mouth. Like, oh man. Bill, what's going on, pal? Who's wrote this? Really?
And he couldn't even, I feel like he was even having a hard time like getting it out. Like, I don't even think he wanted to say it.
I think he enjoyed it.
He said your toothbrush.
Is toothbrush not a word in America?
No, it's toothbrush. He said toothbrush.
It's just, he's from the north, darling, like me.
It was just so cute the way he said it.
Up your bottom and
up your bottom.
Honestly, if you listen to the Regal podcast, he's so good.
Yeah.
He knows like all the old school comedians as well. He has to get a podcast. Come on, William. Give the people what they want.
The thing is though, with Regal, okay, like it wasn't, the best line that he's ever had, but he still made it into something hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? That's just what he can do. You can give him a terrible line, he'll still pull it off.
And he was still, I thought, by the way, that match that as we've discussed it before, I never watch Rampage. Again, A, time, B, there's only so much wrestling I'm watching a week. That Danielson-Moxley match in Dante and Matt Sydal was brilliant last Friday.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to check it out.
Oh,
that doesn't surprise me though.
Oh.
Also, what's that happened with Wheeler Yuta? Because he kind of feels just like a random addition.
This is my life now.
We can't see anything.
Can't see anything.
The baby monitor.
It's the baby.
Well, the fact he's fucking awake. It's 12:15.
It's little George. George. So
Wheeler Yuta got so over in that match with Moxley like a month ago, and now has he had a match? I think he's had maybe one match since.
He's at the Battle of the Super Juniors for New Japan. That's a big deal, JJ.
I see. Okay, fine. Fair enough.
Been won by big names in the past. Yeah.
Not every wrestling fan. This is the thing. Not every AEW fan or every wrestling fan, period, watches all the wrestling. So, like, someone like JJ, first of all, I don't watch anything from Japan, really. JJ is asking a normal question, and Jack's like...
No, they announced it on commentary. They said it on both shows.
We don't care.
But,
we don't care. We just want to watch the shit we want to see.
Just bad timing, really, because he was so over after that Moxley match. Then he had one match the next week, and then he just kind of from an AEW point of view, gone off the boil.
He's losing the momentum.
It would be cool if he's smashing this Super Juniors tournament that they could, I don't know, maybe play some clips. I don't know what the deal is, but Could be a thing.
You need to keep the
Keep him in the
momentum
front of people's mind, right? Yeah.
in the USA.
Not the salad bowl.
Ah,
Do you know what
Okay,
always stands
my
out to
rant is
me?
over.
You know when, I mean, this is in like a year and a bit's time, I guess, but when Triple H and Stephanie were married and together, and all of these backstage vignettes, they just have this incredible veggie platter. You know, they'd have like their own locker room. They just had this like huge, like the sliced up carrots and the peppers and the dips. Oh, amazing.
You're so rich. So rich.
Iconic times.
Jack, are you
Yeah.
okay?
BRB.
The baby. That's why I immediately am like, Jack, are you okay?
Guess the baby woke up.
These entrances for like X-Pac and sometimes for DX, it was so confusing because they would like cut to like live and then they cut to like video and live. It was just, even now, I think it's just like a little bit of ADD, like just hard to watch.
It was just chaotic. Everything was just chaotic. And I think these intro videos just encapsulated that energy so well.
Yeah.
Chaos. Okay, so he's tag team champion with Kane at this point, right?
Hey,
Okay.
but
I did
where's
get that right because here comes Kane.
Tori though? Because Tori was their manager, right? Did something happen to her between now and then? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
You okay, buddy?
Yeah, he just needs a bottle. He's walk up.
Oh, poor little guy. How many months is he now?
He is 7 months, so he's on phase 4, but he's got a bit of a cold, so it means he just struggles to breathe, I suppose. And he's yeah, he's up. He's feeding a little and often at the minute.
Yeah, we got lucky really. Like now Penny, who's 9.5 months, will just take a bottle at like 7 p.m, go to sleep, and then won't wake up until 7 a.m.
A cakewalk. Lucky you.
Can't
Yeah.
speak.
She's unreal.
So yeah,
In her own bedroom, beautiful.
JJ just runs good at life. I'm so confused because
Have you seen my wife?
yeah, it's very true. Okay, so this I've had this mute. This is a King of the Ring qualifier. Wait, what?
No, this is for the tag team championship.
Tag match.
Oh,
Welcome
right. I was going to
back,
say, because
Jack.
I know Kane and X-Pac. I was about to say, when did they split on each other? Because I know Kane and X-Pac were.
Yeah, no, we were just asking where's Tori.
Do you not remember? Because it was like, yeah, you can do it, big man. X-Pac's the guy that first got him to speak with the voice box. Yeah, you can do it. Like,
Then you told her he doesn't need it anymore.
But Tori was their manager, and then was.
I love wrestlers who don't talk. You know, that's actually like one of my favorite things.
Come on, big man. I got this. We got this.
My living room door just like slammed open.
I heard something.
That was really fucking creepy.
Lissy, don't have kids.
I'm just here. I'm just here. Just
Say with
trying,
your
to,
wine on Tuesday.
just trying to hold it down.
Just thinking,
Talk on
how is it
Tuesday.
only Tuesday?
Dog, I don't know. I can't deal with it anymore. It's too many days between Saturday and Sunday. I just can't deal with it.
Should we? JJ, you good there?
It just wasn't closed properly, but it just like slowly nudged open and then just went wham into the wall. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Maybe there was
Yeah,
a
mate.
little breeze or something.
Oh, JJ, I did an incident earlier. So again, he's teething badly. So got some Calpol earlier. Go to put it in the box, the little camper box, drop it in, and it just goes, smashes
Beautiful.
all over the floor.
Fantastic stuff.
Like,
Straight through the bottom, huh?
straight through the bottom. All like 2/3 of a ball. Like,
That is precious stuff at 7 months old as well. Can't be wasting that.
Oh man! First of all, we really could have done that tonight. Second of all, that is a really shit thing to clean up because the floor is
Oh yeah, sticky as.
sticky.
At least I trust it wasn't on carpet, right?
No, it's all like
good.
don't know what it's called, like just normal floor, I suppose.
Yeah.
Big clothesline. Yeah, just like been a long day already. Don't need that right now. Come on, man. Ron Simmons is going.
I still love Cade at this point. Like, he was so good.
Yeah, and he'd not really been too overexposed at this stage. He'd had the big match with Undertaker at WrestleMania 18 and kind of 14. Didn't really do much towards the back end of the year. And then he had the thing with Undertaker, didn't he? Him and Austin both pinned Stone Cold for the title. But he still never really spoke. He was still a mythical figure.
Yeah.
I want more superstars to not talk.
I love how much Kane could do, like, with his body language, considering, like, you had no facial expressions.
Yes.
Luchasaurus just tried to copy him, money with the
amount of emotion that man could convey with, like, no facial expressions is incredible.
It sounds a bit like you, John.
Thanks, buddy.
No, but it's true. It's so hard. I mean, obviously, like, it's so hard to get over in wrestling, but like, especially when you don't talk, you're wearing a mask. I mean, people can't see you. People don't hear anything. It's a visual sport, right? Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
And like, such a good combination with these two, like the big man, little man combo.
Yeah.
Clash of styles.
No, 100%.
Like, you would never think to put them together, but they just work so well.
Well, actually, you know, it's funny. They do that now a lot, right? Where, remember, like, they had like Enzo and Big Cass. And then, I mean, you saw a lot of, probably around the time that you restarted watching wrestling, like, they would just put Rey Mysterio with like a big guy. Like, Rey Mysterio and Batista had something going at some time and whatever. Like, they like the odd pairings, but they do work.
Yeah.
And I think, to kind of just draw back on like what you said earlier, like, Farouk was actually like nobody in the WWF at this time. He came, like Jack said, he came in, he had like the little gladiator gimmick, but it didn't really get anywhere, even with Sonny as his manager. And then JBL came in as Justin Hawk Bradshaw. Again, he was a cowboy. He used to brand people. He had Dutch Mantel was his manager at the time, I believe. But like, you can take two people who were like doing mediocre stuff and put them together, and it works, right? But how now it's kind of like hit or miss, where you have like a Randy Orton and Riddle, you put them together and you're just like, all right, let's see where we go. Like, they've made something of it. I think for as long as they've been together, everybody's like, oh, wait till Randy turns on him, wait till Randy turns on him. And like, that's kind of the part of the things that you're looking for too. But we don't see enough good tag team wrestling. And I think these two are a good story of like how they became a tag team. It looks like they just won the belt. So they're on a good shape.
Yeah. So a steel chair was introduced by Shane O'Mac when the referee's back was turned, and X-Pac went to do his, what's the name of the move, where he slams his crotch into their throat and the turnbuckle. Bronco Buster. There you go. Slipped my mind. And went face first into a chair. Still love the Stone Cold chair. And the Acolytes won the titles. More gold in the ministry.
And around this time as well, X-Pac had a long-running feud with
GDTV.
They had a match at WrestleMania 15.
This never got paid off either, right?
No, it was only Goldust, I think, and then they bought them.
Really.
Let's try and.
What led you to that conclusion?
Bodyguard. They should have kept her around as an opponent for China.
Apparently, she was massive pain in the ass behind the scenes.
Who isn't?
Yeah, well, you're not bigger than the machine.
Are you suggesting that you're a nightmare behind the scenes at CCW? This?
What? No, I'm actually a dream.
You think you're a queen? You think you're royalty or something? Please.
No, I know nothing. I'm just there. I'm learning. I'm just doing my thing.
Didn't you tell us off camera that you walked into the locker room first day and just went in there and said to all the guys,
you demanded
respectful?
I thought you demanded respect in the locker room, right?
Fuck you guys. I hate you all.
John Jacobs, you're a naughty boy. So Nicole Bass was in ECW for about 4 months. Obviously, got caught the eye of WWF officials because due to her look.
That's a scary face.
He lasted about 6. I think she might pop in WCW for 6 months afterwards. I always thought Ken Shamrock, right,
was
as a physique,
one
as
of
an
my
athlete,
favorites when I was growing up.
That's what you should look like as an athlete.
He still looks like
guy.
And if you remember around this time, Val Venus had been shagging Ken's little sister, Ryan, who was actually 19 or something in the storyline. Very strange.
There's just like a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
Sorry, was that shoot or kayfabe? I don't know.
Kayfabe, brother.
Okay, fine. Okay. Shoot.
I'm going to give you some any other news and notes around this time.
Go on.
So apparently around this time, Bradshaw had just got into a big fight at the Kansas City airport with Steve Blackman, who kicked the holy hell out of him.
Blackman kicked the hell out of Bradshaw. Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's only one winner there.
Ron Simmons had to save Bradshaw from getting a complete ass whooping.
First of all, Steve Blackman is a badass. Like, are you kidding me? I'm not trying him if I'm Bradshaw. Sorry, not sorry.
All the stories I've heard about Bradshaw lead me to believe that he was somewhat of an insecure bully. I mean, back in the day.
I'm glad you added the word insecure because people always talk about bullying and they don't talk about why the bully is bullying. Usually it's due to something like that.
Yeah.
You're so insightful, John Jacobs.
This was, there was a lot of heat backstage in WCW because at the Nitro the previous week, so this is the time of recording, 24th of May, a lot of wrestlers going off script and cutting their own promos, which led to the segments going over and things being cut. So this was the beginning of the end of WCW in the middle of '99.
First of all, WCW was already over.
You like this one, Lissy. And the final news and notes. Sable is in a major contract dispute with the WWF, and she's been taken off TV.
Who was that?
Sable.
So no grind this episode? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Oh, the grind has been put on hold for the time being.
Poor us.
Sable, I mean, she was only 30 around this time as well.
30 years old, yes, sir.
In June 1999, Sable, then next month she quit the company and filed a $110 million lawsuit.
Did they ever disclose what the settlement amount was?
They did not. It was claimed to be around 10 million.
And
she was brought back in 2003, and the first angle was she was in a relationship with the owner.
So how ironclad did her contract have to be for both parties to be able to come back? Like, there had to be some type of clause that said, you cannot sue us for any reason.
I imagine. You presume, right? Yeah.
There's no other way that she would have.
We'll put it that way. So when Steve Regal was signed, William Regal was signed by WF in '98, he fell asleep on Vince's, Vince always has people around to the house and lay by the pool. And he fell asleep, he passed out because he was still high from the night before. And yet, such was the word about him, they still hired him. He was obviously sacked in about 6 months of those man's man vignettes. Have you seen them, JJ?
Yeah.
He's a man. So when he was re-signed in 2000, they had it in his contract where he would take a drug test every month. And if he failed it, they could sack him on the spot. If you make that mistake once, right, then.
I think he was in a real bad place at that time. You read his book, there's a lot of tough read. With a happy ending.
I do wrestling does sometimes push the envelope a little bit too far, right? We've seen it with Jeff Hardy.
I didn't like Jericho mentioning, this past week on Dynamite saying, "I'll stick you back in rehab with Moxley."
Right, like, we've seen it.
Don't like that.
But we've seen it so much, right? Let's go back. Let's all the way back. Jake the Snake. I'm pretty sure like Jerry Lawler like dumped alcohol down his throat like in like 1996. This is obviously the fans. We didn't know what was going on, but like if you're an adult watching, you're like, oh, this guy probably had some. They always say demons, right? Same thing with Jeff Hardy. Poking the fun. Yeah, with CM Punk with what's his name? With John Moxley, and now with William Regal. Like I don't know why. Like I feel like there's just certain stuff that you don't cross. It's like that's a really deep rooted personal issue, and it also has a lot to do with your mental health. So like I don't really feel like it's something that should be played with on TV. Same thing with like people's death. I really didn't like it when a few years ago, God rest his soul, when the Anvil passed away, and they kind of like wrote some jabs into the storyline with Natalia, like really shortly after. And I was just like, you know what?
Picture of him on a table that they tried to put her
like through. It doesn't need to happen. Like it's
I feel like with the Moxley stuff and the Jericho stuff, like they're both high enough up in the company that I feel like it must have all been signed off. Whereas I think that there's probably other situations where they say, we want to do this, and the talent probably feel like they can't say no. In certain companies more than others, I would imagine that there's that kind of stigma where you feel like, okay, I'm being given a bit of a spot here, I don't want to say no. I don't think Moxley or Jericho have to worry about that in AEW, right? So
but still, even so, like I feel like that's just such a personal issue, and it's something that like so many people are struggling with. I don't think it's funny.
That's the thing. It's that it could very easily upset like a big portion of your audience who you probably have goodwill with after the Moxley stuff as well. Like, so.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Here we have Triple H, and who was he calling himself at this time? Mankind, Mick Foley, whoever he was.
Mankind.
I feel like
know, because we like talk so much over like the promos, I'm not really sure what the point of this match is.
There's no point. We don't need to know. There's no point.
I mean, it's amazing, really. Like, you think in a year's time, this is going to be like main eventing Royal Rumbles and stuff, and now it's just like a throwaway match on Raw.
Yeah, I think it's important, like how we were talking about earlier, like Mick Foley, he took so many bumps for so many people, and like especially Triple H, he was always like Triple H, The Rock, Austin, like Mick Foley was always that fourth guy that was, that supporting cast that maybe you're like, oh, like they don't really get like all their flowers all the time, but it's like this time in wrestling, and especially in WWE, like they wouldn't be anything without him. And like think about that turning point in the Monday Night Wars, right? When on air, like when he's like, do you know what's going on the other channel? And it's like, don't do it. Don't do it.
That'll put butts in seats, right? That was the line.
Yeah. People wanted to see that, especially like on Monday Night Raw. Like the belt really rarely changed that particular belt really rarely changed hands on the show. It was a big deal. And people, I think they just like underestimated how over Mick Foley was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of Mick Foley in all of us, right? He comes off as this character is probably like one of my favorite versions of him because he's wearing like a sweatpants, but like a button up with a tie. So he's going to work. We know he's going to work, right? But like, he's got some things he's working through, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, my sort of like peak of getting into wrestling was when I could watch it on Channel 4 at my house, and it wasn't on cable TV, and that was when they had the whole feud with between these two around Royal Rumble, and then the Hell in a Cell match, and like I absolutely loved Foley at that point.
I feel like
Jack during that, but yeah. Hated Triple H like really, really
Right.
hated Triple H, and that was all because of Foley. And
So
yeah,
if and when Triple H goes into the Hall of Fame solo by himself, because like he's already kind of in there with DX, right? I hope that they give him the 30-minute speech that he deserves, or however long they can give him. And, you know, he has to talk about this time in his career. Like, this is one of his, you know, biggest rivalries. When he was about 30 years old, just about to be 30 years old at the time, and like just kind of like coming into that main event spot, like, I mean, Foley made him look really good a lot of times. Of course, he was good, but Foley made him look really good.
yeah, he got into the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, it just kind of like happened like right before our eyes. And I mean, it just kind of shows you like where you start isn't where you end with this company. And I know it doesn't work for everybody. We talk about it all the time where it's like, okay, like they keep doing like some people, they keep giving you gimmick after gimmick to see like what's going to stick and what the fans are going to like and how, you know, you're going to carry it. Like he came in as, you know, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, like the aristocrat from Greenwich, super rich, whatever. Things didn't necessarily pan out in that particular character, even though he was making some headway. And then they put him, you know, eventually put him with Shawn and then DX, and he goes the leader of DX. And then it's now we're seeing it's like kind of just him in China. And then, you know, then he marries Stephanie, and then he really marries Stephanie. So like he's had a lot of versatility in his career too, but still, like, I like that they didn't change the name. I like that they didn't like ignore all the things.
Stairs? No.
Hiya, buddy.
Back. We thought you were feeding the baby. You were just making yourself a big gin.
I was gonna say that's a big gin.
No, Trisha, he needed the. Have you got another snot suckers?
The what? What is it called?
Oh, they say when you become a parent one day.
The little
exactly. Yeah.
I know what that is. I have a niece.
How is the niece?
She's great. There's another one coming in July.
Oh, really? Congratulations. Have you told us that before?
I don't recall. Maybe not on air. But she's gonna
You've done a lot
be
of air miles this year so far.
I know. I say all the time, I'm like, just the hard parts out the way. Just send Mila to live with me. You guys can just, you know, focus on the new baby. I'll keep her. I love her already. This is fine. It hasn't gone over well with the parents.
Oh no.
Here to dream.
Is that not a DQ?
Feels like it should be.
Oh, I missed something.
I mean, he's already taken a steel chair to the head.
Is there anyone else that's the queen of the low blow other than China?
Okay.
China 97, 98 got over by doing that low blow.
I'm just looking at the synopsis, and this is a hardcore match, so
yes, that's correct.
Why no DQ.
But you see, Mankind has got. Oh wow, Mike. I got to feel Mike Kyoto like that a little bit.
Mike Kyoto is getting manhandled.
Oh, look at all the socks in the crowd. Love that.
Dude, Mr. Socko was so over. Did you have
you're
kids
getting
in
over
your
when
class that went to school with like a sock?
I did that. I drew a face on a white sock.
Oh,
Nice.
that was heavy. Well,
you know, JJ, we're gonna protect the business, brother.
Hunter was working a little
Laid
bit.
snug and apologize afterwards.
Poor
I'm doing
Mick,
it for the Harley races and the Ric Flairs of this world.
Well,
we're only a few months from Rock absolutely tearing him to shreds, right? At King of the Ring.
It's the nasal. Sorry, Joni. I got a chance to fuck the boss's daughter.
You're a monster.
Hey, what do you think of her going on a hiatus?
I love her, and I hope that it's for
Lissy, for anyone who's just watching out, Lissy's a lover of all queens, McMahon or otherwise. And the $1 billion princess is now what 48 now, Steph? She's now elevated to queen.
I mean, you can understand why she takes some time off after, you know, the stuff that, you know, her husband's been through of late. I don't know if it's necessarily indicative of something else happening behind the scenes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I hope she's okay, and I hope that they're.
Get out of the way, Sarge.
Yeah.
Get out the way.
I'd rather not speculate because I don't know, you know.
Yeah. Like, I hope she's okay. I hope everything's okay. I hope it's just a little breaky break. And, you know, I love Stephanie. She can't do any wrong in my eyes.
I've got Mike Chioda still selling and calling for the bell. What a guy. Wasn't Mike Chioda? Anyway, Mike Chioda presented Santana won the. Do you Santana won a heavyweight title? Honestly, like the Puerto Rico or something Latin world heavyweight title, and Mike Chioda was today doing the refereeing.
Oh,
Can we just go ahead, JJ?
What
were you saying? You said I would say.
I was gonna say, like, for the size that Mick Foley is and like the character, like his physical attributes, he is still such a sympathetic character. That takes a lot of work to get to that point.
Oh, absolutely.
You know why as well? People forget selling. There's no, it's not seen as a weakness. Like if you can get people on your side and sympathy. Like I said, Mick's actually like 6'2" and about 280 pounds here.
What's it called? I'm so sorry. Can we talk about The Rock's little like cast?
Cameo.
He has like, the Cowboy Bob Orton cast on him.
One of the most lethal weapons in the entire world of professional wrestling, the cast. One of the things that popped me daft in 98 was D'Lo's chest protector.
Oh my god, the chest protector.
Because it was so the man that the big frog splash, but he's got the chest protector on, so now y'all finished.
What a time.
He's going to a medical facility, he's not going to hospital.
Would it be a far away medical facility or
local?
Generally local.
Maybe to the end of the driveway. Okay. We don't know.
Okay. Good.
We've got a lot of Undertaker on this show so far today.
He is the WWE champion. Sorry, WWF champion.
And he's facing Stone Cold in the main event, giving this away on free TV. Around this time as well, I think we just seen a big match. If you, we might have to watch it sometime. It was, this was around the time where Charles Robinson was coming at Little Nate. So it was Ric Flair and Charles Robinson against Macho Man Randy Savage and Gorgeous George. Do you know Gorgeous George is, JJ?
Do you know who Gorgeous George is?
Massive, like, stripper / bodybuilder that I think Savage found while stripping and wifed her up, basically.
I think you're being a little generous with / bodybuilder.
I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Do you like when they go, I'm a model, you work in a strip club, I do some modeling.
I do some modeling with no clothes on.
And they WCW guys saw, right, let's get you down to the power plant. And Savage hit Charles Robinson with an elbow drop so hard he broke 3 of his ribs. Like people would say, if you go back and watch Randy Savage's elbow drop, he was snug.
The D'Lo was along the right lines with that chest protector.
Where was D'Lo when you needed him? He's too busy smelling Mark Henry's shit. Yeah, again, you look at that, you think as a storyline, where's that going?
It's not going anywhere.
What? Which one? Sorry, I missed it.
D'Lo being caught being horrified by the smell of Mark Henry's shit. Yeah. Oh, clever tactics by the intelligent baby Steve Austin.
So my thing is, like, when we talk about the evolution of The Undertaker, because I feel like that's such a big part of, wrestling during this time. I'm like dropping my laptop. He became more and more human as we went, right? And then we know, what year did he become the American Badass? Was it 2001?
It was this week. It was this week in 2000. It was the 23rd of May 2000.
So a year from here, he becomes the American Badass Undertaker and completely leaves behind all like the dead man stuff. And he did that for what, like 2 years, right?
Yeah, because he became the undisputed title. He beat Hulk Hogan for the undisputed title in 2002.
Yeah.
And I think he had a feud with Brock Lesnar or 2 or 3, then went away and came back for the big WrestleMania match with Kane in 2004. But the thing is, again, if I'm watching this as a British 12, 13-year-old kid, I don't know what the American badass is. I don't know why he's on a bike. Like to me, biker stuff. Like,
But we did know the song, Limp Bizkit were a big deal.
I had that album, yeah. Obviously not a real one.
First it was Kid Rock.
A copy by my dad's mate who used to sell them all in the pub for £3 each.
I understand, yeah.
CD rewriter, glory days.
Well, everyone's dad had that, mate.
Eka. Because I was called Jacob. Marley, how we doing? What do you want from me this week? Marley. Why you calling me Marley? Jacob Marley. I don't know who that is. Yeah, look it up. We don't have the internet yet, Eka.
No, actually that's true, because remember I told you guys, like, I had my dad's friend Tony used to like record the wrestling and like give us like the boot, his little bootleg version of it. Like we all had somebody in our lives that, was, oh, okay.
We all need a little help. We needed a little more help back then. Oh, he's just whispers. He's just whispered there. Reverse this. Oh, he landed just on the lower back. That didn't look good. Did you see the spot with Samoa Joe and John Morrison, where John Morrison at the top went, move, get round, and I certainly missed him.
Was that when he came off the top rope and like completely missed him? Yeah. So they were saying, well, I don't know where I heard this, but like the rings are like a fair bit bigger in AEW than they are in than the general like ring size. So he probably just misjudged it based on that.
It's just, but if you look at him, he's there going. I don't think John Morrison will be getting a call back.
So pause. Let's I know there's a great match going on right now, Stone Cold versus The Undertaker, but we always talk about this. I think it was in September, whenever we started, together, guys, and we said,
oh my God, we're approaching our anniversary. We're all going to Wales, right, for the 1 year. £500 for the cash at the castle.
Where we were like, it's right there. Like the roster is literally right there from being the WWE Junior bloated roster that we, didn't want to see. Are we there yet?
I believe the phrase the kids use is too many mans, too many mans, too many mans.
Was that Ja Rule?
Fuck you. Look, I did it to my tongue. I got it second time.
The thing is, like, I don't think John Morrison is going to be a permanent fixture. I don't think Makita is going to be a permanent fixture, but I have no issue with them bringing in these guys for like a one-off match in a situation like this. It's fine, in my view. In terms of the size of the roster, yeah, it is a little big, but they're also getting to the end of this like first 3-year cycle, right? And they're going to be releasing some guys that are at the end of their contracts.
Joey Janela's already gone.
They're going to not re-sign them.
Joey Janela's gone and like keeps lighting his feet on fire instead.
Controlling his own narrative.
Bullshit.
They don't release people in AEW. They just don't re-sign.
Don't re-sign, yeah.
Exactly.
But there are also people that I think they'll just stop using, and those people, they're not going to cancel their contracts. They're going to say you can go and do indie stuff if you want to,
and they'll catch the hit.
If something comes up for them during the rest of their contract, then it does, and if it doesn't, then they'll go.
But JJ, from a business perspective, right? They have a big, in terms of like a football team, you got a big wage bill right now.
Yeah.
Like Punk's apparently on a lot of money. You imagine Moxley likewise, Jericho, Kenny in the Bucks.
I don't give a shit about that. That's TK's problem. Right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying but if you're looking at an outside looking in, like, and then you've hired people like Brian Cage, hasn't been seen in what, a year?
Yeah, but I guess TK is of the opinion that having, treating people right and having a more of a harmonious dressing room and a happy workplace is more valuable than squeezing every penny. That's what I can infer based on how he does business.
Yeah, but just not cutting people.
There's a happy medium. I think there's a happy medium.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think, I could argue that not cutting people doesn't necessarily mean there's a happy locker room, right? There's always going to be somebody that's not happy.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's always going to be people that like they think in their minds that they're worthy of that AEW TV time. And like you said, they're coming to that first wave of the 3-year plan where a lot of people aren't going to be re-signed, and some people are probably going to be disgruntled, and that's normal, right? We've seen it a couple of times, but it's like, when is enough enough? Like every week, there's a big announcement every week. There's a big signing.
To be fair, like it's dropped off the last kind of
thank God
couple months, right? But there's also like there's still huge names out there they haven't signed. You know, like
who?
Stone Cold's playing a phenomenal shift in here, by the way, guys.
Cesaro's there, Bray Wyatt's there, Braun Strowman's there, and obviously different reasons for not signing different people.
Braun
I'm not
Strowman.
saying right, but whenever he got released, I know he's had some.
Have you seen his Joker promo?
Yes. But I understand like now, right? But I mean, there could have been an argument when he got released from WWE that why wouldn't they sign him?
Pin him.
He's such a WWE guy. I feel like Cesaro could fit in like, it's not just because I love Cesaro, but I think Cesaro, to his credit, he was somebody before WWE. And I think
you and I know it was Claudio, yeah.
You just have to look at all of the names that people were bandying around that could have been the Jokers, right? Johnny Gargano's still available. The Athena was going to be like, everyone thought it was going to be her. Candice LeRae, like there's so many free agents still out there that they haven't gone after. It must be hard. Like TK's a fucking wrestling fan like we all are. He's got the money and he just sees these people and he's like, I could do this with you, I could do this with you. And yeah, I think he's probably gone a bit overboard.
He's also a business owner.
Yeah, I understand that.
And you have to keep, it's all right sign everyone, but then again, you've got to then manage a lot of egos. It's a bit like, again, as a football manager, they all can't play.
Yeah, I get it.
You're going to get so many people in the first 11. Like you can, and then putting people in like 6-mans or 10-mans or battle royals. Yeah. I just like one-on-one single matches or tag matches.
And then you have these 5-on-5 monstrous matches.
I've got the Jericho Appreciation Society against that. I've got no interest in
that right there. Okay, that versus Regal's crew, the Blackpool Club. Like, I'm sorry, I love both of them individually. I don't want to see that shit. I don't. Sorry.
It's the higher power.
Oh, sorry. Let's pay attention to wrestling.
Now, I wonder if this was actually Chris Daniels at the time.
Looks a bit too tall.
Looks a bit too what?
Looks a bit too tall.
Look at them. They're all bowing down to the higher power.
I guess this is untrackable. For copyright reasons.
You get like an amber light coming on the YouTube upload saying, do you know what? I wonder if that was Vince at the time. Surely not. But then I think they were filming like 2 weeks at a time. So this may have been live, and then the next one was to tape. It's just all very weird.
There's so much going on.
But it's so weird how, despite like, it's all a bit daft, everyone was so over.
Mm.
Yeah, but look what was going on the other channel. That also plays into it.
That's what I mean. Yeah, WCW had 2 hours of basically people going off into business for themselves, and then things getting cut or cancelled because running over.
This is dramatic, right? I mean, if you're watching this on a Monday night, you're going to want to tune in next Monday night.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like we have. It's not like we have ads or anything. Let's just track it anyway.
Do it. Yeah.
It's like 10 seconds left.
So let's be honest with you.
Wow. Yeah. We will never know.
Cliffhanger TV.
Oh, but we will.
Are we gonna go and watch the next episode next week?
Maybe.
Could do.
Why not?
So that was Raw from the 31st of May. JJ, give us your thoughts, please. Succinctly.
The last 2 matches were Triple H versus Mankind and Undertaker versus Stone Cold. I mean, can't really complain about that. Would have been nice if one of the matches tonight had a finish. We did see some new champions. It was not clean.
It was not.
So what did we
Good
watch the week
matches.
before on WF Superstars? IRS against some guy and was it Doink?
Mike Rotunda.
I love Doink. What a badass. Terrifying, but badass. No, it was good. Enjoyable watch. I don't know how well it'll go down with the fans getting a 90-minute show out there versus a 60-minute show, but we'll see.
I mean, nobody watches anyway. This is basically a place for us to rant and talk about wrestling in our own comfort, let's be honest. We all need to get the same microphone so we release it as a podcast.
I invested in a new one.
I know, but you didn't tell us which one. We all have to get the same, so it's all on the same frequency.
Oh,
Alan.
is that what it is? No.
And then we get matching shirts. Then we can be our own clique.
I show this in one of Gibraltar's finest electronic establishments.
Oh, right. Lissy, what did you think of the May 31st, 1999 episode of Raw?
I mean, it's like what JJ said. The last two matches were good. I like what I will say is I do enjoy the 2-hour format of Raw. I think 3 hours is a lot of TV, especially a lot of wrestling. I remember at this time, like my dad we would watch WCW from 8 to 9, and then from 9 to 11, we would flip back and forth. But I mean, obviously I'm 10 years old at the time. I didn't care about watching WCW necessarily, but 3 hours is a lot. And now that we have 3 hours, I do feel the difference. Could have done without the beaver cleavage. You know, the hose were entertaining for that period in time, but like we said, certain stuff just wouldn't fly today. So we're just looking at it with like 2022 eyes in like a 1999 microscope. I think at the time it was probably a very solid and entertaining episode of Raw.
Do you not think it was kind of an era where fan participation was it was reaching its peak in terms of the signs, or people waiting for catchphrases? Like the Godfather comes out and he goes, "What? I know what you all want. Come on, ask me. Come on, bring the hose." It was that, and then the Road Dogg. Obviously, we didn't see his entrance, but that type of it was. I think people were wanting to be a part of the product more than ever.
Yeah,
and I think we're probably seeing a resurgence of that.
Big pops during this time.
Just, big pops.
Yeah, like I mean, even when you guys were like, "Look at this big pop that like beaver cleavage got," it's like no one even cared. Like it's not even like.
That was for two specific reasons.
Exactly.
Mosh like, thrash, yeah.
You put a few vignettes out a few weeks in a row, and you're like, "Oh, she's coming," and that's kind of what it was at the time, right? And then, of course, I love Deborah. She looked amazing at this time. You know, setting up my goals for my late 30s. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate you.
One of the OGs. Yeah, it's an interesting time. You could argue. I mean, would you say it's a more interesting time for the business now? Let's say you can use this platform. What did you make of? You were very vocal 2-3 weeks ago in argument to JJ, saying that you know what you sign up for when you sign up with WWE. What do you make of Sasha and Naomi walking out last week?
So I think as a as a woman of color, I have to be very careful with the way that I look at this type of situation, right? Yes, everybody knows what they sign up for. And I think it says that much more about the two of them, because it's like, we know how things work in this country. At the end of the day, it's really, really hard to be a person of color and stand up for what you believe in and what your rights are and not get blacklisted. So I think it says a lot about the two of them as women, just in general, but also, you know, as women of color, like standing up and being like, hey, like, we're not happy with what you guys are doing. But Lissy, the businesswoman.
You went very Howard Finkel then. However,
Lissy, the businesswoman who understands the business side of wrestling, it's not your belt. It's not your, no, it's not.
They handed it in.
No, it sucks. Guys, it fucking sucks. It's not, you're not in control. That's the thing. Like, you can have the fans behind you. You can have all the momentum behind you. You can have, you know, you can be the best in the ring. You can be the best on the mic and all that. You have to submit to the system where it's like, you don't control what you say. If you go against it, there's repercussions for that. And the same thing with that sort of, you know, thing that they did. It's very admirable from a stand-up perspective, but the way that the commentary like buried them on Friday, like that wasn't necessary. It wasn't.
And again
that
last
was too
night.
much.
And again last night.
Yeah, and again last night. It's like, let that shit go. Like, okay, fine, they did it. Guess what? Perfect example. We just watched someone die in the ring, and then like it wasn't even really like acknowledged a week later. So it's like, why is it that these two do that and a week later we're still chattering about it? We're probably gonna talk about it on Friday. Probably gonna like keep talking about it. It's just it is a bit ridiculous at the end of the day.
AJ, is that fair?
It's like what Punk said, right? The machine just keeps on turning, right?
And that's
like,
the thing.
But
it is.
For
It's
me,
a machine.
the whole issue that's happened here is completely of WWE's creation. Like, they made these women's tag team titles with no clue what the fuck they were going to do with them. They put these two women who are incredibly talented and incredibly over together into this tag team. And these two women said, okay, that's what you want us to do. We're going to put our asses into this and we're going to make it work. And then they said, no, actually, we're going to take you from here. We're going to take you from here. We're going to job you out to the champions because you're really good at what you do. So we're going to use you to get them over. And I think that it wasn't just this one thing that's got to them, that's led to this stage. This must have had to have been a build-up for them to get to this point where they've done this. And yeah, I thought the statement that they released was bullshit. I think them saying, we regret that we couldn't provide the main event, deliver the main event that we had advertised. They didn't advertise it for very long beforehand, and they very rarely deliver the main event that they advertise. It's either going to be a dodgy finish, or it's going to be changed, or it's going to be something else. So, and also the bit that they put in there about, they said that they didn't want to work with two of the people in the match. Just
that was a weird statement, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of swirling rumors.
Even if that is true, which, you know, some people have said that it's not, it's just a shitty thing to put out there. It's just a way of Vince or whoever's put that statement together backstage trying to turn the locker room against these two women. So it's a shitty situation. They're both very talented, and I'm sure if things don't work out in the WWE, then they will find success in whatever they choose to do elsewhere. We already know that Sasha's had good things happening for her in the TV industry, and hopefully beyond. And yeah, Naomi, if she goes to any wrestling company, she'll get massively out. But I remember, was it when she came back at the Royal Rumble? Like, the pop for her was just unreal, and it was one of those things that actually like broke away from wrestling. Like, people just, I think on social media, just saw this entrance and were like, oh my god, who the hell is that? She's a star. Like, I don't know who she is, but I want to watch her, kind of thing. So it doesn't matter where she goes, she'll be a star. So
well, also just two additional points. So furthermore, realistically, the WWE has these women's tag team belts, and there's no women's tag teams.
Yeah.
Just period. Like, there's no, like, we don't need to argue about this. There's literally no women's tag teams. So it's like, if you're gonna invest in the belts and invest in that division, like, put teams together that are actually going to be tag teams. That's number one. I don't even need to go there anymore. Anywho, like you said, JJ, they can go and do other stuff. This is not sorry, I'm not even gonna go that far back. It's 2022. It's not 2012. It's not 2002, where if they throw you out on your ear, you're never heard from again, or you go to like a small company and people don't really, whatever. It's not that way. Social media. These women have millions of followers on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. They're not going away. They'll keep, you know, their brand, and regardless if they lose a name or whatever, they'll maintain their following. A check is going to keep coming. That's all I have to say on it.
Yeah,
I don't know what the situation they're in now, because I don't know how long they've got left on their contract, but
they're independent contractors,
right? And then
they can do whatever they want.
they have a contract though, right? And they can be held
Not have a
to that, right?
contract to have their name, image, and likeness used by the company. But if they are unhappy with their working environment, they are free as independent contractors to choose not to. They turned up to work. They were unhappy with what they were given. Don't have to do it.
They can do the Tony Storm.
I mean, yeah, the problem is, I imagine someone like Sasha would be owed a lot of money from merchandise, from royalties and stuff. So she's probably thinking long term. But yeah, this is the problem again, by making, which is what happened in like the old days. So like what's happened, fuck you, I don't need to do it. I can go work somewhere else. And but it was the fact that the WWE trope of feel they took their bottom pole and went home and they let you down. It was very unprofessional of them. Why did they walk out? Never mind that. They let you down. But if you're a wrestling fan with half brain, you'd say, well, they haven't done it for no reason. I mean, did you see Pat McAfee's face when Michael Paul was reading out his obvious verbiage? He's like,
yeah.
What?
And I'm sure there's like Michael Cole, God bless him, he's a company guy.
He's doing his job. Yeah, you don't blame
man
him.
is doing his job. He's been with the WWE since the 90s. Like he's loyal to the brand and he's doing what he needs to do to maintain, his position, right? But like he can't feel great saying that either. Just especially like how he bigs up Sasha every single week. He comes, it's boss time. Like, come on, like it sucks from like 1 week you go, it's boss time, and the next week you're burying.
Well, I wanted at least a little pop from JJ. They got nothing.
JJ's so unbothered.
The Kane of the mainly wrestling show.
I was just thinking of something else that happened that I saw. I think it was from SRF that reported it, saying that the writers basically turned to Sasha and Naomi and said, you guys have got a bad attitude. You guys have an attitude. Probably need to fix your attitude. And we have a black woman on the show, so I don't really need to speak to that. But I think that is a bit of a trope that if you are a black woman and you speak out, then it's the angry black woman. You've got an attitude problem rather than it would be if it was someone else.
Absolutely. There is a very negative connotation to the angry black woman in media and in, that sort of situation. It's like,
Brandy didn't do that any favors, did she, on TV either?
Say it again?
The Brandy with that stereotype near the end didn't help with that.
No, exactly. And it's like you always have to prove that you're not that, right? It's like, hey, like I'm actually just a person with my own thoughts and my own opinions. And, I feel like an injustice is happening and I want to speak out against it. And it's really hard to not be labeled as, an angry black woman. And it's really, really frustrating. Not just in media, in a corporate setting, in any type of work setting, because you do feel a little smaller and not feel as welcome to step up and voice your opinions or voice dissatisfaction with a particular scenario. And you'll see that when our male counterparts, just putting it out there, just not even making it about black women, just women too, right? When our male counterparts, when they step up and say, I need a raise, 9 out of 10 times they're getting that raise, right? When women ask for it, give us till your mid-year review, give us till the end of year, things are a little tight right
women
now.
Always complaining, want more.
Yeah, exactly. So the numbers are there and it shows. And at the end of the day, regardless of what happens or whatever, like Sasha and Naomi, they are extremely big stars, and it takes a lot of guts to stand up to the machine. And I do maintain my, you do know what you're signing up for, but if you want to push back on the company and say, I want better product, it's for the fans, you can't be mad at that either.
What's best for business?
That's for business, baby.
That's why Zelina with Vega was back within 3 months. Yeah. JJ, what do you think? How do you think it's resolved? Do you think we'll see them back on TV soon?
I don't think we'll see them back in the next month or so. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You think, really? Yeah. So what they should do is they crown interim tag team champions. They come back. We never lost those belts. Boom! Big match of SummerSlam. They have like 20 writers, and they still can't book this fucking company. I actually tried to
know-
watch some bits of Raw last night, and I am thinking, why did I waste my time?
Well, Jack, you know, and JJ, you guys know, I always say this, I love tag team wrestling. I really appreciate it. I just like the women, and remember, think back 5 months, we're doing the end of year awards for 2021, and we're struggling to name a tag team of the year for women.
Yeah.
Especially in
There isn't any. Yeah.
Huh?
There aren't any.
Isn't it? They put
Exactly,
women
like, so
together,
we're
and then they give it a month or 2 months or 3 months, and then they've
Yeah.
broken up or they've done this or they've gone their separate ways. Or
And you
whatever.
see every year around WrestleMania time, they start to put these pairings together. We saw it with Natalia and Tamina. We saw it with Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. We saw it with even like this year with Natalia again with Shayna Baszler. And it's just like, it's constantly like this pairing of, we don't have anything for you, let's throw you in a tag team. So let's see how we do.
It's just team wrestling should be.
It's no investment. And same thing with the men's tag team too. I'm not being
I was
biased.
going to say what happened with the men, but it doesn't WWE different.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And
not
it's
sorry.
Tag team of the year, FTR could literally shit the bed for 6 months and they've still got it sealed. So
Well, actually, if you ask John Jacobs, we know who he's going to say.
That's it, yeah. Not Jack Gable.
6-star FTR.
He hasn't said Chad Gable in a few episodes, and I'm really proud of him. So do you have anything you want to say on Chad Gable right now before we end?
Shush, please.
Hasn't really done anything, has he? He's just been getting squashed week in, week out. So fine, we'll see what happens there. But I mean, they had a few good months, got himself over, and then we can feed you to someone. It's fine. That's fine.
That's the wrestling business, kid.
Yeah.
So,
What does Vince McMahon say to people when he hires them? You need to learn to like the taste of shit. You're going to eat shit and you're going to learn to like it.
You're going to love it.
But that's Nick Count. But anyway, that was the May 31st episode of Raw from 1999. We're going to be back next week to see the higher power reveal. JJ, this will come as a bit of a shock to you. So, you know, many the stiff drink because it's a doozy.
Got a feeling I know who.
I've not heard the term doozy in a very long time. My God.
Yeah, where'd you get that from?
I'm so I think it was from Scream. It's a doozy. Oh, I need to go to bed. JJ, you need to go to bed. Lissy, you're gonna pour a drink. From all of us, I'm Jack Milner. She's John Jacobs. He's Lissy Almeida. Lisa.
It's
Ta-ra.
Lissy.
Alice. Who the fuck is Alice?